everybody. Welcome to the Cannabis Wiki Conference and Expo 2022 from London, Ontario.
We got a lot of new hot interviews coming up next.
See you in the green room.
Welcome to the Green Room. We're at the first annual Cannabis Wiki Conference and Expo here in London, Ontario. How's it going so far, Jackie?
I'm so excited. How's it going? The first ever Wiki Conference and Expo at Western District in London, Ontario. This is amazing. What do you mean, how's it going? I'm on Cloud 9, which isn't that a cannabis store that's sponsoring us?
Yes, it is. Shout out Brittany.
Yeah, shout out Brittany. Well, okay, so today's going to be an interesting one because I am so excited to talk to everyone we talked to that supported our conference and Expo. And our first guest today is Mariah from Tantalus Labs.
Hello, everybody. Hello, hello.
Hello, and thank you. Thank you so much for doing this. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sponsoring us. I think you were one of the first to jump out because we went and saw you at Toronto. Remember we went to that Toronto Expo?
Yeah, I remember we connected. That was my first cannabis event, full stop. So this is
Ever?
Really, yeah, so this is super exciting.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, now here you are, first
Here
event.
I am.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about what Tantalus Labs is?
Sure, yeah. So Tantalus Labs
Thank
is
you.
a licensed producer from Maple Ridge, BC. We focus on sustainable cannabis growth using sun-grown technology. So we use full spectrum sunlight, triple filtered rainwater to irrigate our plants, and really basically conscious growing and cultivation practices.
Nice.
Nice, they're nice.
What kind of, what is your specialty?
Our specialty, so we focus mostly on flower and pre-rolls.
Okay.
Right now, I would say our specialty, our killer is Pacific OG, which is like a very high sativa, high THC sativa.
I love sativas.
There's
Dude,
not
it's
a lot
so
of
good.
sativas on the market.
I
There's
know.
not a lot. So yeah, yay.
Yay.
We like that.
Yeah, so we're really focusing on like high terps, high THC. We want to get like a very high quality product across to all of the consumers that, want the high THC sativas. So doing
love
really
it.
well with that.
That's great. Yeah. What about infused pre-rolls? Are you guys going to get into those?
There have been whispers, nothing coming down the pipeline confirmed yet, but we're definitely exploring that. I think from a craft perspective, we really like to focus on, getting the volume in the products that do well for us. So focusing more on our pre-rolls and our flower is really where we're at right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what strains? What do you have? Cultivars?
Right,
Is that cultivars? Is that what we're calling them?
Yes. So most recently, we actually launched a new flower, which is Sunset Sherbet. It's Pink Panties and GSC Cross. And then we crossed it back.
You just skip right through pink panties. What?
I know, right? But it's so incredible. Someone once told me that it tastes like all of the colors of the sunset. And I will never forget that description because it's so bang on. It's beautiful. It's like all sorts of color. I've got some at the booth 317 if anyone wants to come give it a sniff.
Give it a sniff.
Yeah,
what about a
please.
lick? Or a light?
Super good. So yeah, I'll go through kind of our cultivars. Our flower we have in Ontario anyway is Wedding Crashers, which is a wedding cake cross. It's been doing really well for us as well. Sunset Sherbet is our newest. And then we have, oh my gosh, what do we have? Slurry Crashers as well. And then in pre-rolls, we have Blue Dream. Our Sky Pilot has actually done really well as well. And I don't know, you OG fans may recognize the name Sky Pilot from when we first launched in Ontario. So it's been our
That's right.
tried and true, beautiful strain. We also have LA Kush Cake, Pacific OG. And then we just actually launched a 7-pack of pre-rolls as well. That's a Kush Punch. So it's a blend, larger format, high THC. Beautiful smoke.
High THC. What are we talking? Over 20%?
Yeah, those ones are coming in like 22-ish right now, I think, and then the flower typically comes in 22 to like 28, depending on the strain.
I just read that we are putting out, or at least we're saying we're putting out cannabis that's over 35%. Have you heard that or seen that? Or do you believe that?
Over 35%.
It was a real juicy topic on LinkedIn the other day that I thought,
is
I'm going to
juicy.
ask some of our. What do you think about that?
Interesting.
Like, how high is too high, and how high is high enough, and how what are we doing? Does it wreck the taste or the flavor or your whole effect? Does it just making you pass out, or?
It's a great question. I think that. So there's a lot of like really cool innovation that's happening with cultivation right now, and tissue culture is one of them. So growing from these little baby plantlets.
Tissue culture?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's basically promoting the health like the healthiest plant you can get because you're not taking cuttings from a plant that's had cuttings over years, right?
Okay.
So we've started using tissue culture, and we have a cultivar out west that's called Petrocan. It's a chem de la chem genetic. And our first lot of that guy came in almost at 31%. It was 30.9%
Wow.
with 5.5% terps. So I haven't
Did you hear that, Derek? 31%
That's crazy.
THC.
5.5%
Wow.
terps. So I haven't quite seen the plus 35 that isn't infused, but I do think that we're making steps in the right direction to see that above 30 on a consistent basis. So that's like cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm excited to see if it's actually that we're actually getting that high. It's going up there, but it's you said the terpenes plus 5% terps. What does that actually mean?
Well, and I think that's the more important conversation.
Yeah.
Like I think the THC conversation is less of an important conversation for people that know that and understand that, and the terpene conversation is way more valuable in determining what your high is going to be like, and how strong it's going to be. So this 5.5% terp, I didn't get kicked off my ass when I smoked it, but it was like, it's also a sativa, so I know. But I smoked it and it was like super mellow and lovely, but I was hyper focused, and so to me that speaks to the terpene mix that is kind of controlling my endocannabinoid system and helping my brain kind of focus on what I need to do. So I think when it comes down to it, it's the terpene should be the more focused conversation, and then the THC, but it's going to take a long time to train the industry to understand that.
It's going to take a long time to get me to understand it.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Like, so when you're the terpene, we're talking limonene and pinene and all of those things.
Yeah.
So the higher, or the different, not the higher, but the different amount. Is it the higher?
I think
the higher the terpene profile.
Yeah, and I think the higher overall percentage, the higher individual percentage, and then also like your own chemical makeup in your body will react differently as well, right? So it's a number that Health Canada requires to see the measurement, but it's going to affect everybody so differently.
So people that come by today and go off to your booth and chat with you, is this the conversations you're having? Do you talk about your new offerings? You talk about your terp? Like, do people ask you about this stuff?
Yeah, so we get there's obviously a range of experience level, I would say, that comes with cannabis consumers, right? So there are people that come in looking for your highest THC, which is absolutely all conversation that I'll have. But
Derek wants to have that conversation.
I'll have that conversation. But then the people who want to get like really into the science of it, they want to know that terp count. They want to know what those terps are. They want to know, like, some people have aversions to specific terpenes that they've done research in and don't want linalool, for example.
I was just going to say, I have aversion to anything that smells like my grandma's basement.
So I love that. Oh my God, I love the floral.
I like dirty cheese and stinky feet and all that stuff, but I don't like grandma's basement.
Oh my God, perfect. Our weed tasters like super opposite, so we'll get along so well.
So there you go. When we pump past, you'll get it right back. I won't steal it.
I can't wait.
There you go. That stinks.
Yeah. So it just depends on the consumer or the bud tender or my audience, essentially, and their experience level.
Cool. Well, thank you for joining us. Derek, do you want to ask anything, Mariah?
Just what's up? What's next for you?
What's next?
What's in the pipeline?
Yeah, so what is in the pipeline? So this summer, we're launching another new flower that has hash genetics. So it's black.
I love hash.
I do too. The mellow. Right?
I love hash.
So it's black triangle genetics. So 88 hash plant. So beautiful. I've been able to smoke it a couple times. So it's launching end of July in flower, craft flower. So glass jar. MSRP in Ontario is $36.50 for all of our flower, which is incredible. And then we're also
$36.50. Is that what you said? The sales? Okay.
For a craft half quarter.
Wow.
So accessible. And then we're hoping to launch a couple more pre-rolls to kind of align our pre-roll lineup with our flower lineup coming fall. So
nice.
Lots of exciting things coming around too.
How do we find you on socials?
On socials, on Instagram, I'm thatgirl.mariah. Or
that
you can
girl?
Yeah, thatgirl.mariah. You can also follow
Mariah.
Team Tantalus. That's our sales.
Team Tantalus.
Yes, that's our sales Instagram. That's our whole sales team. You can kind of catch up with any of us at that point. And you can also find me on LinkedIn.
Thank you.
Of course, thank you.
We'll look forward to seeing you on LinkedIn and all the tweeting and social posts you're going to be doing today from the Cannabis Wiki Conference and Expo.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you.